On the back of a game last week where Harbourside came up just short, the home team looking to get back into the win column here this afternoon against a team they are 0-1 against so far this season. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Kakinishtuk Stadium here in Nanaimo on Vancouver Island as Harbourside FC welcome Altitude FC for the second leg of our L1BC doubleheader. My name is Alex Ronsley. Thanks so much for spending a little bit of your Saturday here with us. These two teams played first back on May the 8th as a late goal from Harbourside got them on the board through Hatim Halazari, but it was a 2-1 Altitude victory, and Altitude able to take away full points in that affair. Harbourside just the one win on the season, currently sit fourth in the standings. A win here for Harbourside today would draw them level with Altitude in a share of third place. For Altitude, they are 2-2-1, and a win here today would tie them with the Vancouver Whitecaps for top spot on the men's division for League 1BC. Had a chance to catch up with the men's head coach Kevin Lindo before tonight's game. Harbourside coming off basically a 2-week break. Their last action was May 11th, a 3-2 loss to the Vancouver Whitecaps. Talked with Kevin Lindo about what the team has been up to between then and now.
Took the weekend off in the main. Guys were working, doing some bits and pieces in small groups and on their own, but we needed a physical and mental break, and I think everybody's enjoyed that, and it's made us a bit more fresh, round to go.
In terms of the result against the Whitecaps, obviously disappointing not to get the win, but you showed a little bit of resolve there, certainly late in the game, being able to claw back and get within one. What do games like that tell you about a team in terms of their ability to pull themselves out of a pretty deep hole?
Yeah, we've definitely got quality, there's no question. We've got quality in some key areas. We just need to put it all together. We need to really carry out what we've planned for the whole 90 minutes, and I'm sure we'll get some good results.
Your second look at Altitudes this season after a tough one on the road a few weeks ago. Talk me through sort of how much that game has influenced what we might see on Saturday, or is it still about this 11 trying to go about and execute their own game plan?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, we learn as we go. That's kind of what you learn with this season and with this league. And Altitude showed they've got some quality too. They work really hard for each other, so we've got to match that and more. Focus on our game plan, but also counter theirs for sure.
You've got some big guns up front. We've talked a lot about Billy and Suka. A lot of the offense has come in and around them so far this year. Bit of a double-edged sword. You've got guys who can put the ball in the back of the net, and you've got guys you can trust in those situations. Billy had a couple of big goals against the Whitecaps, but you don't want your scoring to be too concentrated. Sort of how do you try to ride that line in terms of ensuring that the Billy has what he needs, but also trying to generate offense elsewhere on the pitch?
Yeah, it's hard to, it's similar with other programs, like VIU. Billy scored a lot of goals there. You can't really, if a guy's scoring goals, then that's great, because goals can be hard to come by. But yeah, you're right, we need to find other areas we can score. We've definitely got certain individuals that can create and put the ball in the back of the net. So it's a bit of both, right? You really want your guys who can create things. You really want them on the score sheet and getting the numbers, but you don't want to rely on them too much. But it is a double-edged sword, like you said.
Do you feel you have a settled 11 that you kind of start with in terms of a team sheet every single game? Is this a case of you've got your 11 and guys are trying to play into it, or is it still match dependent and you're looking at sort of matchups more closely?
I wouldn't say set 11, but I would say there's probably a core. There's probably a real core there that we've been working on, and then there's probably there's a lot of competition for places. I'm sure like there is in many squads, so we're benefiting from that. Guys are pushing each other, but there is a core there of leadership. Some from last year, some from new have come in and fit straight in, and it's huge. Every team needs that.
You mentioned leadership. I wanted to ask about Fergus Hall and just the role he plays with this team and his ability to lead in so many different ways in terms of composure at the back, marshalling guys on set pieces, things of that nature. Just his value to the team and the execution of the game plan as well.
Fergus has been huge. Great guy. I've known him since he was a kid, and he's done great things with his footballing and his studies so far, and he's come back improved. And he's really marshalling the guys well back there. Loves defending, loves keeping clean sheets, and he's great on and off the field. But we have other leaders too. You know, Johnny McKenzie's a huge part of the group. Callum Magog, who hasn't got on the field yet, but huge guy for the team, and Matteo Costa who helps out coaching as well. So we've got some great leaders, and that's what Matt Marassa comes out with us as well. So we wanted that as part of the group, to have that the even keel, because there's a lot of young guys in the team, a lot of emotions, right, as expected.
That is Kevin Lindo here in advance of our opening kickoff between Harbourside and Altitude FC. Let's get to your game look, and we'll start with the weather conditions. It's chilly. It is 13 degrees as we kick off here this hour. That is our forecasted daytime high. There are some showers in and around the area that we are expecting, although the clouds have parted more than perhaps we were anticipating. So we can expect maybe some pretty nice conditions all told throughout today's game. Certainly no fatigue from the weather. Here's a look at Harbourside starting lineup. Callum Weir goes in net, his 5th straight start. He's played every minute so far in between the net for Harbourside. Yusuf Osman, Wyatt Lyon, Fergus Hall, they'll all play on that back end. Suka Bahari. The interesting one there is Anders Tovar. This is his first start for Harbourside this season. He has made 4 appearances so far, all of them off the bench, totaling 54 minutes of game action. Beopolis, Happel in midfield. Purcell will support Ashton Bryant on the back end as well. For Altitude, Luka Ortu will go in net. Tavula Azaminu. Marshall designated the captain, although I think I saw Walters with the armband, so not that it matters all that too much, but Marshall noted as the captain on the team sheet that we received up here. However, it may indeed be Walters with the armband. Bushman Darman, Desikera, Aheo, Puhaz, Sarub, and then Ambrose Sinmeth is the interesting one. Played with Harbourside last year. So a game for him against his former club in his former club's hometown. It'll be an interesting one for him here this afternoon. A big impact player was Ambrose Tinmouth for Harbourside last year. Getting set here for opening kickoff. As we get ready, Harbourside will move from our left to right in this first half. We're in their home dark blue jerseys with the light blue and white trim. Altitude from our right to left in the sky blue jerseys with the white trim. It looks, at least the way that they're setting up, that Altitude will take the opening kickoff. And we are all set to go. Harbourside trying to get back in the win column and claw their way up the standings. Altitude an opportunity to play for first place in the league come the end of 90 minutes. Lots on the line. And we are set to go. Referee says let's do it. Altitude from right to left. And they'll start with control on the ball. Long ball put up through the middle is already Altitude asking some questions. Is Bushman Dorman trying to advance it, but easily cleared out there by Ashton Bryant. And early pressure just a few seconds into this one. So we'll kind of keep a look at how Harbourside lines up. It appears, at least to start, that Suka Bahari is in that sort of central striker role, that target man role. Beopolis on a left wing, Tovar on a right. And then Happel and Creswick, I believe, or Happel and Purcell, pardon me, to support in through the middle. Creswick around as well. And then Fergus Hall, Osman on a wing-back role, Bryant on a wing-back role. Helping man on the back end. Osman with the throw-in right side. Taken down, little chip there from Tavula trying to advance that ball ahead. It was taken away, and as Harbourside put it down the wing. Rolling ball. It'll go in there. Tovar to go for a battle, trying to grab it there was Azraminu. And Altitude take it away. Sarub. long ball down that right side. The second time that Altitude has tried that long aerial route so far this afternoon. Second time they've been able to get a throw in deep inside Harbourside territory off the head of Ashton Bryant. Ball played out, nice little spin move is Savula. Kicks it back as that's played in long, but out for a goal kick. There is a number 35 out there on the field for Altitude. Unfortunately, there wasn't a 35 that got directed up here to us. So we'll try and get a read on who that is, but just some late minute changes for Altitude on this one. We'll try and pick that up as the game goes on, as Osman will take a throw on this near side. Referees today, Rodrigo Zadanuski. Assistant referees Hannah Browning and Kelsey Carruthers. Ben Clark is the fourth official. Taken there, Ahio. Feet to the outside as Altitude beginning to move down the right wing. Plays screaming forward in the middle there to Sakara, wanted it but didn't get it. Still feet to the outside, put in, and Lyon puts that out for a goal, for a corner, excuse me. Early pressure here from Altitude. They've had all of the scoring opportunities and they've had the possession to boot. Looking to try and deliver on the corner. Long ball, floated in, curling towards the goal, and Weir right on the goal line. Able to get a hold of that one. We'll hear from Callum Weir at halftime. I got a great feature on him talking about his time at the National Futsal Championships, a member of Team Canada, adjusting from the indoor to the outdoor game. His time here at Harbourside, future goals. It's a really good 8 or so minute chat, and that'll air at halftime. Here's Tovar. Trying to dance his way over, gets outside, and he'll win a corner. Good early pressure from Altitude. First real opportunity deep inside attack for Harbourside. Everybody bar 2 up for Harbourside, although Happel will kind of remove himself slightly. Bryant and Osman are the 2 back. Tovar delivers low, outside, kicks out, Happel! Right through the uprights. Altitude look to work out once more. Walters. Feed over the far side as the visitors look to build, although a mile offside, Bushman Dormant. Wyatt Lyon will bring the free kick up, just around 15 or so yards short of midfield. Harbourside will begin the build out from their own net. Weir will try the aerial route to look to hit Billy Biopoulos. Hasn't had a touch of the ball, has Biopoulos yet. Bahari has been kept quiet as well, still very early. So watching Harbourside line up, it's a flat 4 on the back with Osman and Bryant in the fullback roles, and then in the center of defense, Hall and Lyon. And then Happel sort of working in a bit of a defensive midfield role. Cresswick in midfield alongside him with Purcell. And then the wingers Tovar, Biopoulos, and then the striker Bahari. That's sort of how Harbourside looks to be lining up at the moment. Bit of a departure from sort of the formations we saw a little bit last year. It is a little bit of a shift, but head coach Kevin Lindo drilling this philosophy in. It was fascinating watching the team train on Thursday night. Just the attention to detail, trying to build out from the back. Altitude control left side. Into the middle there, that's Siru. Big factor for Altitude is the number 18. It's a long bomb this time, trying to connect there with a hail, but unable to get him. Over the far side, there's Ambrose Tinmouth, the former Harbourside player. Now with altitude, as a free kick will come, it'll go for Harbourside, a foul against altitude. Referee just asking for emotions and physicality to drop slightly. Just a clumsy challenge, no real malice to it at all. White Lion will take it 10 yards from halfway. Good work there from altitude to get possession. Here's Sarub trying to connect in through the middle. Here's Bruce Dorman as Weir out to challenge. It's spilled through, but Hall was able to clear from about 6 yards out. Good punch from altitude, weathered and cleared from Harbourside. They'll try this near wing. Chavula. Back to midfield. Taken in control there, Azarminu. On that far side, Walters will put it well down into touch. Little blustery. I certainly feel it's probably windier and maybe a degree or two cooler up here than it is down at field level. It is just a really beautiful day for soccer. Not taxing at all in terms of the weather conditions. We won't have any of the drinks, breaks, stoppages, things of that nature. The women's game just flowed beautifully. Only, a combined 3 minutes of stoppage time from both halves. Really can't ask for much more. Altitude begin the breakout. Chavula. Still looking control and get a little bit of pace. So the number 35 that we were trying to figure out, that is Marcus Puhalj, excuse me. He was initially listed as number 12, so a little bit of a change up on the numbers, but we will adjust and go from there. And altitude just trying to just control the pace a little bit, looking for some sort of seam and opening in the Harbourside defense. Chavula, the little chip on ahead for Bushman Dormant. Taken back, Chavula looking to center. Happel tried to slice him off the ball. Spills Creswick, Happel, Tovar. Harbourside not out of danger yet, but doing well to maintain control. Osman, Creswick, rolled it ahead. Osman still trying to fight his way through traffic and eventually off the boot there of Azarminu. How to play for a throw. Osman. Creswick pressured there by Chavula, falls to Sarub and just overplayed the pass a little bit too much, went out of play for a throw. Harbourside beginning to inch their way downfield as the throw in for Purcell as he's shouldered off the ball, wanted a free kick, and it'll go for a throw in for altitude. Purcell certainly felt he was fouled on the check there by, I believe it was Azarminu. Regardless, referee had a good look at it and let it go. Sarub cutting his way through midfield. As Chavula to the left instead uses Puhalj. Trying to advance down that right side, denied by Beopoulos. I think that's really the only touch of the game he's had so far. Scoreless in the 11th minute. Altitude's had the best chance so far, but nothing super clear cut. This aerial feed down the right wing has been something Altitude's tried. That's probably the third opportunity so far this afternoon. Trying to find that long ball and that long feed. Free kick here for Altitude. These two teams played to a 2-1 score in favor of Altitude in North Vancouver earlier this month. Suka Bahari finds his way onto the ball. His first quality touch of the game draws a free kick. Talked a lot about this a couple of weeks ago as Bahari looking to find Bayopoulos left side. He's there shoulder to shoulder against Marshall. Bahari, check that, Bayopoulos drops it back, still bouncing, trying to find it. As in and around it was Bryant opportunistically, but just couldn't latch onto a loose ball. Talked about it a couple of weeks ago against the Whitecaps. Even in those stages where good players aren't involved in the play, they find themselves ways to get involved. And we saw a player like Suka Bahari just wasn't getting the quality of touches that he wanted, and he'll draw another free kick here as he tried to turn and spin off the body there of Ali Azaminu. And Harbourside will have a free kick here coming about 25 yards out from goal. And the referee will ask to speak with Azaminu. No card coming, but just a quick chat and a warning. And Andres Tovar will take the free kick and await the referee's whistle. Two players back. Again, it's Brian and Osman back at midfield, guarding the number 9 of Desikera. Tovar to deliver. Low, through, a bunch of bodies, sits on the dot, but it's cleared away right out to midfield. Decent look. Ball could have caused a little bit of chaos, but ultimately no harm done for Altitude. As Bahari gets a touch in there, Walters clears it to the nearest side. That's for Pahaj. Put out of play, this time for a throw-in for the visitors. Last home game here for Harbourside until the middle of June. Last time they have an opportunity to put some good memories in the home faithful. The women falling by a 2-1 score earlier today. The men, as I said off the top, trying to get back into the win column. Put themselves back in, or further in contention for some postseason work in League One after missing out last year. Altitude building on the outside of the area, trying to dance their way in. Good boot by Lyon, just stood like a brick wall and took it away. Tovar delivers left side. Bayopoulos, he's got Bahari streaking through the middle. Bahari trying to keep himself on side. He's a mile off right now. Bayopoulos working his way through and got stripped of it. Was able to beat one, couldn't beat the other. Tinmouth. Near side here. Pahaj. In the middle, taken there by Azaminu. Long ball, it'll one hop in onto Weir. Yeah, 2 hops. And he'll hold on just for a second. And Harbourside will begin the breakup. Cresswick gets away from Desikera. Ball stymied though at midfield, spills to Seru. Desikera trying to center, off a boot, straight there to Cresswick, but couldn't do much with it. Here's a chance, Azaminu put it to the outside, but only dark blue jerseys. And Callum Weir asks for a little bit of calm. Capel challenged at midfield. To the far side, Bryant. Couldn't advance it much. Ball spills to Lyon. Cresswick. Just outside the area. Still moving, trying to gain some traction as Sarub couldn't advance the ball. Ahead, Bahari midfield. Still maintains control. Suka Bahari chipping it ahead. Intended there for Bayopoulos. Just timing of their runs off by a fraction. Goes out for a throw. Pahaj begins to work his way to the left side. Chavula stripped of it, lost it. And the referee wants to chat with Chavula. 2 or 3 times the referees had little one-on-ones, just issuing some extra instructions, perhaps some final warnings. We'll get a brief pause here as one of the altitude players just down. Not sure if it's equipment or medical, but regardless, a brief pause. Not sure if that's, I believe that's Azuminu. It is. Altitude one short on the sub bench today, only fielding the 6 substitutes, including a reserve keeper. So one less option they have to work here this afternoon, although we saw the women's team only make 3 of their substitutions, despite fielding a full bench. Long ball. Bounces once and headed out into touch by Fergus Hall. He's just so reliable back there as Fergus Hall. Plays a lot of minutes. Sirub Saru. Kuhaj. Chavula makes himself available. Chipping it up and ahead. Hall heads it back out. Cresswick, the intended target. Spills to Bahari. Creative, perhaps too much so. Unable to get that one, but Harbourside come back up with it. Bayopolis. Purcell looking to advance it ahead. He's playing in a midfield role today. Has played more up front so far this season, but Altitude quick in transition, but the pass to the right side. Intended for the number 7 at Carson Bushman-Dormand. Offside. Capel. Feed intended for Bayopolis off its mark, goes out for a throw. Bahalish. Out to Walters. Still over that far side, Tinmouth. Altitude going for a run, looking to center. It's a beautiful cross. The first touch on it as it goes out. It should be a goal kick. It is. Beautiful delivery off that right wing. Ambrose Tinmouth putting it on an absolute platter. The first touch there by DeSiqueira. I don't want to say it let him down, but I think he was just closed down very quickly. Didn't really have a whole ton of options. Had a couple of defenders on him and the keeper. Cresswick put under pressure on a difficult pass and ends up losing it. Sirub Saru centers and clear to the outside and eventually out of play and eventually out for a corner from Fergus Hall. Tried valiantly to keep it in, but was just unable. So another corner opportunity coming here for Altitude. Still awaiting the game's first goal, 20th minute. It wasn't until deep in the second half that Harbourside were able to get on the board in North Vancouver. It was a 2-1 loss back at the start of the month, May 8th, as that ball low cleared out edge of the 6-yard box and cleared away on a second effort by Harbourside. Chavula's back for it. Sirub Sarub at midfield. Harbourside pressing high, but Altitude there in numbers. Ball down the right wing, taken by Bushman-Dormand. Trying to cut his way in. Casa Bushman-Dormand looking to get past the check there of Ashton Bryant. Couldn't do it. Hits the deck on a second effort, and Harbourside eventually clear out to center. Ball spills nicely to Bahari. Won a 1-on-3 battle, did Suka Bahari. Now he's just got no options, but he will draw a free kick. Altitude don't like the call. A couple of arms up in exacerbation, but Suka Bahari doing just about all he could have done in that situation. Won a ball in a 1-on-3 scenario and then ends up coming away with a free kick. Suka will go for a run left side. Lost it, got it back, lost it. And Altitude control. Bayopolis, so check that, Happel had a poke and Altitude quickly in transition. Through ball, but Fergus Hall will be back to it. And he's just gonna let it run and out for a goal kick. Intended target there was Stasi Ahayo, excuse me. Harbourside will begin the breakout. Cresswick. Ball down the right wing, split Osman and Tovar. Neither of them could really do much with it. And Altitude quickly in transition. Bushman-Dorman to the outside. Tinmouth working his way into the area, trying to center Bushman-Dorman. Ball spills loose. Osman played it to the outside. Yusuf Osman chips it up high and long. Beharry trying to do something with it. Walters to it first, though. Straight on the clearance to the boot there of Chavula. And Chavula will draw a free kick just as he was getting away from that altercation. I'd have liked that play to continue, but instead Altitude will settle for the free kick. Altitude working in through midfield. Sereb Saru. Chavula. Sereb Saru. Still just keeping it to the outside, building possession, building pressure. Altitude wanted a free kick along that far challenge as Biopolis couldn't control the outlet feed from Happel. Altitude certainly had the bulk of possession as that feed from Sereb Saru intended for Chavula just couldn't control it. Osman did well to keep it in. Anders Tovar making his first start for Harbourside after 4 appearances on the sub bench. Purcell's feed to the left wing. Biopolis had to track back and gather. He'll switch up there with Bryant. Back to Purcell. Down the wing. Ashton Bryant did well to keep it in, only for a second, lost it, but ends up getting the throw-in, I should say. And Beharry tracks back to get a touch of the ball. Hasn't had a whole ton of options this afternoon, has Suka Beharry. He's done well with the limited ones he's had. Purcell looking to center and headed for Biopolis, never found its way through. And Altitude in transition right side. Centering, DeSiqueira. The touch pass, knocks it down. Bushman-Dorman, 2-on-2. Carson Bushman-Dorman drives wide, shot, and a left glove save by Callum Weir. That was on target, was going to tuck inside the right post, but a nice stop by Cal Weir is driving wide. Bushman-Dorman did enough, and Weir had enough on the outstretched left arm. Another opportunity from a corner here for Altitude. Good break there from the visitors as well, 2-on-2. Hall and Lyon, the ones back, but able to nullify that was the keeper. From distance, from a long way out, it was hopeful at best from the number 10, Stasi Ahayo. Callum Weir looking for some options. Drills a ball left side and low. Knocked down Purcell. A little overlap and a give and go there with him and Bryant. And now Harbourside in transition. It's Biopolis left side looking for some support in the middle. Hits the trailer. It's Beharry and it's wide. Boy, not by much. Biopolis finding Beharry. Tovar was around as well. And Suka Beharry disappointed. He'll be disappointed he didn't hit the net on that occasion, but a good opportunity and sent a ball just wide. Still scoreless, 26 minutes in a first half that hasn't really had a whole ton of dead moments. Both teams not afraid to play that long ball, so even in situations like now where Altitude just sort of playing in their own half, one boot down unleashes a guy like DeSiqueira or a guy like Bushman-Dorman to push forward. Chavula. Bushman-Dorman. Little overlap trying to get there. Tovar battling. Bushman-Dorman got the ball, but Osman wins that battle. Puts it out of play. Those of you joining us, I don't know if we've mentioned it so far here, but the Elwood Wiley track meet going on right behind us, so you'll hear some extra noise from time to time as races and events go in behind us. It is a busy day in the Stadium District in Nanaimo. There's even a baseball game over at Sir Oxman Stadium as well, so all three venues with action going on. Ball knocked down, Harbourside trying to go quickly in transition. Beharry at midfield. Quickly traced down there by Azurminu, and did well to strip him of the ball. Azurminu, right side, looking to try and tee up and get a chance from a sharp angle. Ball sits at the 6-yard box and Weir swoops in for it. This venue, Kinnistrick Stadium in Nanaimo, for those unfamiliar, part of what's unofficially dubbed as the Stadium District. We've got soccer and football. I believe also field lacrosse here at this particular venue. Immediately behind us is the Rotary Bowl track and field venue. And off to the side, camera left, sort of well out of frame, but camera left is Sir Oxman Stadium, the baseball venue. And then behind, right in front of us, over the far side with the slides, that's the Nanaimo Aquatic Center, a big swim venue for meets. And then across the street, the Nanaimo Ice Center, one of the two main ice hockey rinks. More of those in Nanaimo, but certainly two with enough seating for sizable venues. So considerable sports and rec around this particular area of the city in Kinnistrick Stadium here, belonging to Harbourside FC for this afternoon. Trying to make it their own, trying to look for a game's first goal. This venue, actually renamed a couple of years ago, was initially just known as NDSS Turf Field, the Nanaimo District Secondary School, which is connected to the Aquatic Center effectively. It was renamed a couple of years ago to Kikinishtuk, a word from Hokuminum, the local First Nation language, the Sinamuk First Nation, effectively meaning to pass back or give back. You'd hear apparently athletes say that, you know, passing a ball, hey, pass it back, Kikinishtuk. So it was dubbed the field Kikinishtuk a couple of years ago as part of a renaming effort. That's what we know it as today. Harbourside down the left wing. Suko Beharry floating a little bit, just trying to find more touches on the ball, is the Egyptian. Did well to get around from one. Beharry in the area, but a nice sliding tackle to take it away. Matt Marshall denied Beharry any sort of advancement on goal. Or two. Bahalish. Chavula. Seru. Walters. Marshall at that far side. Harbourside defense holding tight. Altitude keen to just work it at midfield. Again, this rotating sort of group of 3 to 5, the striker, the two attacking wingers, and then the midfielders sort of coming in to join as needed. Just in this continuous rotation is a great chance along that far side by Bushman Dorman. Unable to try and thread that through. Kicks back out, a free kick will come here and it'll go to Harbourside on the foul. Out for a throw just in front of the Harbourside technical area. Bryant to take it. A little bit more blustery in terms of the winds for the men's game than we had for the women's earlier on. About the same temperature, so that 12, 13 degrees. It has clouded over more considerably as well since kickoff, so some showers are in the area and in the forecast, so we'll see if that comes here. But otherwise, it's been a pretty dry afternoon so far, maybe the odd spit here and there. Right side Tinmouth. Into the middle. Sakara. Switches it up, comes out to this near side. Pahalj. Good battle there, is trying to knock it loose. Bushman-Dormand, and a free kick will go to Harbourside. Carson Bushman-Dormand not liking the call. Not a whole lot of argument after an initial. He's going to blow it back and ask Fergus Hall to go back a few more yards to take the free kick. Or at least just to redo it completely. Cresswick to Lyon. Appel. Appel delivers a low ball. Osman trying to sneak his way through. But taken there by Pahalj. Osman looking to try and separate. Tovar coming in to help out as well. And it'll be out for a throw as Pahalj dragging it out of play. Great pressure by Yusuf Osman along that right side. Under Tovar coming to help out as well. Bahari. Appel trying to drag a ball towards Sarub. Took it away from him. And Harbourside trying to prevent the transition. They'll give up a free kick. But Altitude were moving quickly. Fergus Hall just taking a knock in that altercation. Will come away with a bit of a limp on his right side and having a chat with the referee as well. Hall will look to just run it off. Still awaiting the game's first goal. Altitude have had the best of the chances. Callum Weir, one in particular, having to make a really top shelf save on Stasia Hale. Walters. Far side there, Azir Minu. .50-50 ball won there by Lyon, although Altitude had numbers around it. Purcell lunging for it and somehow spills out towards the middle. Cresswick. Tovar trying to center. He was taken off it by Tavula on a nice back-checking play. And again, Altitude will just slow it down. Hasn't really been much pressure from Harbourside to force Altitude upfield. Or at least force them to make a move with the ball. Bahari keen to sit back. Biopolis keen to sit back. Tovar as well. Cresswick and Purcell and Appel moving up in through midfield. Just very keen to allow Altitude to just try to put it over the top or try to make some sort of entry. Purcell. Spilled the ball there to Appel, and he'll feed it down the left side. Biopolis going for a run out, though, is Ortu, and he'll chip it high and back into the Harbourside half. It was a good look down that left side as Lyon battling one-on-one with his man along that far side. Disakera looking to come up with it, and does. Still to the outside, Tinmouth. Looking to get it in towards the middle. Didn't like his options, so goes back. And Biopolis trying to force the issue. Those two go down. And Biopolis gives up the free kick and the foul. Azir Minu to the outside. Good cut off there by Biopolis. Intercepted a pass. Harbourside trying to go quickly in transition. Bahari, Biopolis tracking it down. Walters will get there first, though. He'll play it up the line and inadvertently trying to hold it in. Bahari kicks it out to touch. Pahalj has Tavula to his left. Sarub up the middle. Instead, bombs long. Tinmouth right in front of his old teammates. Trying to dance his way in. Drops it back off. Disakera from the edge of the area off the back of Lyon. Fell nicely for Yusuf Osman, and Harbourside in transition if they can move, but Tovar was just half a step too slow as Tavula was able to track him down and take it away. Azir Minu. Long ball in towards the goal, well wide, as Osman will get a big shove. And this might draw the game's first card, as stepping in, the referee wants to have a chat with Carson Bushman-Dormant. The referee will issue just a simple warning. And I think there's a case for Harbourside to make here. Both Callum Weir and Fergus Hall asking the question, how is that not more? The ball was destined to go out. Osman was protecting, and it was an extended push, a full extension of the arms from Bushman-Dormant. Ultimately, the referee's book remains empty. A free kick for Harbourside, but some scratched elbows for Yusuf Osman, picking the rubber out of his skin from the artificial turf. Wyatt Lyon will try long this time. Osman was just onside, able to hold it right side. He's got Tovar on the overlap, but the ball off the legs there of Marcus Bahalj, as he was able to get in the way of that pass and deny the chance. It was a good long ball from Lyon to hit Osman. Ball for Osman, played there by Bahalj. Didn't get a touch on it though, although the assistant referee signal goal kick. Purcell pleading. Thought it should have been a corner, but does not get the call that he wants. Six and a bit minutes left in regulation here in the first half. I would imagine we'll see probably 2, maybe 3 minutes of stoppage time. Haven't been a whole ton of long pauses so far in this one, as a cross blocked by Lyon will go out for a corner. Everybody back to defend for Harbourside Bars. Suka Bahari, he's closely watched by Wiz Chavula. Also back to help out defensively there is Stasi Aheo, as a ball put in just wide of the goal on the header. Close from altitude, but ultimately no danger on that corner. Lyon back to Weir. And Harbourside will again look to build out. Weir sends it long, right of center. Headed straight back by Harbourside and put out of play. Osman plays to the middle. That's for Suka Bahari. To Bryant's left side, has a little bit of open field. Will chip it up and ahead. Purcell trying to advance it, gets it to the middle. Cresswick just half a step behind it, and Ortu will clear. Hall goes back to Lyon. Purcell, midfield. Battling there with Ari Azermina. As a long ball put in, but right to the area, and Luka Ortu, an easy grab, and we'll hold on. 4 minutes plus stoppage time left in this first half. Coming up at halftime, a feature with Harbourside goaltender Callum Weir. Switching it down the far side, Tinmouth trying to absorb, does. Looking for some open space in front. Ambrose Tinmouth will go for a run. Centers over to the far side. Chavula has some time and space, but well wide. Just got a little bit too trigger happy with that shot, up and underneath it a little bit too much. Fergus Hall off the goal kick. Weir will clear it, but give it straight to Tinmouth. Tinmouth looks to come back at it. Over to the left side, intended there for Chavula. It was cut off well, though, by Happel. Now back up the left side, that's Suka Bahari. Trying the little give to Biopoulos. Didn't get the goal, goes back to Purcell instead. Got away from one challenge to Biopoulos. Couldn't get past a second one. And altitude control. It's been a difficult opening 45 for the Harbourside attack. Bahari, Biopoulos, Tovar have been caught and guarded very closely. Little give and quick in transition. Here's Aheo trying to work his way in. Stasi Aheo. He's got Chavula to the left, to the middle. Desikera puts it to the outside. Feed here. Seso Chavula. To Puhalj. A little touch pass. Aheo trying to open up his right foot. Creswick did well to strip him of the ball. It still sits dangerously. Spills Serub off the backside of a Lion and cleared away by Harbourside. Not out far though. Still trying to work their way in as Tinmouth from distance. Not threatening. Couple of minutes left before some stoppage time. As you said, I would imagine we'll see 2, maybe 3 minutes called. Callum Weir will go for a ball. Just sends it long. Walters heads it back, controlled by Happel. Over to Purcell. Now Bryant. Rolls it on ahead, Bahari. Doesn't have a whole ton of options, still maintains control. Creswick's in the middle. Happel is the link, chips it up and ahead as Purcell around it. Bryant trying to connect on it, and now altitude in transition. Long bomb through the middle. Here's half a chance, although Hall is back helping out. Osman has to cut it off, but the pass in through the middle. Let altitude down, pardon me, as Bushman Dorman was trying to hit Aheo in the middle. And Weir might have lost his footing there, getting that ball away. It goes out into touch. He's just glancing down at a note very quickly, but saw Weir on the deck, and the ball out of play. Throw in here, goes to the edge of the area. Aheo trying to cut in, gets away from the check of one. Just still on the outside, drops it back. Serub, Chavula, kicks it past. Puhalj floats the ball up. Weir is out and took a hard knock getting that shot there as well. And the referee will have another chance with another altitude player, Ariazar Minu.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 1 minute.
So it'll be 1 minute minimum added on, although this stoppage from Weir will add to that time as Weir coming out of his net to challenge the ball. I think Fergus Hall is probably having a chat with the referee just about the nature of some of the challenges. There's been a couple of times this afternoon where Harbourside has felt that they hadn't necessarily gotten the level of discipline that they wanted in terms of potential cards. Callum Weir just checking his left rib cage a little bit, but seems okay. It would take a lot to keep him out. And we'll send a ball very long. Altitude will be keen to test him as quickly as possible, potentially before half time. The ball put out of play. Coming up at halftime, we'll have a feature with Callum Weir, talking about his time not only at Harbourside, but playing futsal at the national team level as well, most recently earlier this year. Part of Team Canada's setup at the CONCACAF futsal level. Puhalj. Tovar. His first start here today. He'll play the 45 minutes at least. He played 54 combined in 4 sub-appearances so far this season. So Tovar getting a longer run here today. And that'll do it. Halftime here at Kakinishtuk Stadium in Nanaimo. Nothing separating these two teams. Very chess match-like, not a whole ton of openings. Altitude's probably had the best of the bunch in terms of the quality of the scoring chances, probably the quantity as well.
Altitude and Harborside after 45 minutes.
But nothing to show for it for Altitude, despite the fact they've had the chances. Harbourside's defense has held strong, led in the net outs by Callum Weir. Scoreless after 45 minutes worth of play. We'll take a short timeout. We'll come back. Well, we'll do our video feature right now with Harbourside goalkeeper Callum Weir. Had a chance to catch up with him earlier this week. Talked about a whole range of topics. We started off though by discussing what brought him to Harbourside and what he's trying to get out of the experience, both last year and obviously taking on a bigger role in net this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, last year it was kind of a learning season. I think you kind of tell by the guys that we had in. We had some pieces that came back, but obviously have like a bunch of new guys coming in as well. So last year was kind of just to show that we can actually compete at the level. Like obviously we didn't have the results that we wanted last year, but we kind of built the base to build off of. And last year it was great for me. It was a bunch of meeting a bunch of new faces, but also there's a couple guys that I've known, like Fergus, since I was about 12. Some other guys. Last year we had a guy named Reese Farragher from the Yukon who I grew up with. And so this year was kind of getting back with the guys, which honestly was something that I was missing from August until April. So it was really good to get back with the guys that came back, and then also some new guys. We got to bring in the other goalkeeper, Matt McConaughey, as well from UVic. So that was brilliant. And then my buddy Ashton as well was playing VIU. Got to come in, which was huge for me because I've been playing with him since I started playing football, and been with him like through thick and thin. So it was really good having guys like that in as well. Last year
you split time in net with Marco. This year to date you've taken the lion's share of the work. How has that adjustment been, kind of going from that 1A 1B sort of situation to at least so far you having control of that net?
Yeah, last year was a good opportunity for me to prove why I belong in the league at this level, because up to then I hadn't played a whole ton. You know, growing up in the Yukon, don't have many games, right? So last year was good coming in, good competing with Marco and playing, and we're still great friends to this day. We talk every day, so that relationship was brilliant, and it was really good to be in, and then we didn't have to change much when we kind of swapped out. This year was really good because I got to bring in Matt. Obviously I was with him at UVic this past year, so bringing him in, a guy that I already know and one of my closest friends, so it's really good to have. And yeah, we'll see what happens this season, but so far it's been brilliant. He's a great guy to have back me up, and I know if he gets the chance, when he gets the chance, he's going to do amazing as well.
I'm fascinated by your background with futsal and just the different, we'll call it a discipline. I know it's its own unique sport, but certainly there's a lot of parallels. I know in talking with goaltenders in hockey, like the creatures of habit and its routine and its angles and its posts and its everything is very set.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that there's much of a crossover for you in terms of those angles, those shot velocities. Am I wrong in that? Sort of how much does translate and how much do you have to adjust from season to season?
You're almost bang on, to be honest. I think luckily for me, like me and Ashton grew up playing, so from when we were about 7 to 10, we played normal football and like indoor soccer, like an arena, like what Matt Marassa did, and then when we were about 11, 12, they introduced futsal for like a competition called Arctic Winter Games, which is kind of like the Northern Olympics for youth. So we started playing then, and then from 12 until now, it's been heavy futsal. And growing up, I was always futsal, turned down opportunities for football just to focus on futsal because my dream was to represent the national team. And then kind of, I think I probably turned like 15, 16 and realized, I grew finally a little bit. Started realizing like, football is actually something I really enjoy, like proper. So some things translate, like it's the same basics of where you want to be in your goal relative to where the player is, obviously, and then communicating with the back line and keeping them organized and everything, so that translates. Same thing, your shot stopping it translates the most into the 1v1 scenarios, so there's quite a few of them against Caps, and then last year there was quite a few as well. So when it comes in making the foot save, quick reaction saves like that, that's one of the biggest things that translate. A really difficult thing is obviously the net it's like half the size for futsal, right? So, and then the pitch is probably a third of the size as well. So it's a big transition into working with angles and where you are in relation to your post and how that affects where you are with the rest of your net. So it's hard, it's tricky to adjust, but I'm lucky in the sense that I'm playing football pretty much all year round, and then we'll go away, typically Quebec for a camp with the national team in December for a couple weeks, and then we were in Nicaragua last month for CONCACAF, so we got to go there a week early, got to get readjusted back to futsal, and then play the competition, come back, and then I had like a good, nice week, readjust back to football, and then I was good to go. So it's tricky, but
back and forth. But I imagine it's like riding a bike after a while.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. Yeah.
In terms of you mentioned communication, and I certainly hear you, particularly when the Rogers broadcast is here with the microphones behind the net.
Yeah.
Set plays, corners in particular. It's very easy to hear you on the field. I don't think I quite appreciated just how vocal you are in play until I was kind of watching you more closely in practice. Just talk me through that communication and your role in being, a leader in terms of the way that the ball is moving up the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's come from a young age. So I have a brother who's 2 years older than me, and we're living in a small town in the Yukon, so we're always traveling in for training. So we'd try and go on nights that we both had sessions, and then I'd kind of hop in with his team. So I was always used to playing with older guys, and then started playing with the men when I was 12, and it was always, they were like my friends, even though they're twice my age. It's still colleagues, and you direct them no matter who. And I've kind of always been just that vocal goalkeeper. I know I've had some issues with people telling me I'm a bit too vocal in some aspects, but it's half to keep. It's mainly to keep the team engaged and ready, but it's also for me to stay engaged, right? So whether that just be telling Ferg, hey, man on, left shoulder, right shoulder, whatever, saying why, yeah, tracking through, things like that. It keeps them engaged and connected with me, but it also keeps me connected in the game and engaged. So yeah.
In terms of what you're trying to get out of Harborside here, what is your goal? And different players are at different parts of their career. Some are, as you, in the university level and looking to kind of continue on the sport. Others older and are doing this kind of something extra. Where do you fit in that, and where do you see your next few years?
Yeah, so this past, last year, first season with Harborside was kind of just to get my name out there and get some exposure. Luckily I was able to connect with Larry and get to UVic. And then I kind of always had the pathway at Pacific because I was there when I was younger, and then now I'm back there again as the 3-4, working with Trevor Stiles, Emil, and Sean and Danny. So I'm in there with Pacific every day working, and that's kind of the goal. The next step is to either break into as a lower level CPL goalkeeper, or it could be overseas. I know the goalkeeper played against for Rivers last 2 matches ago, Jackson Gardner. He was playing pro in Australia, so he's one of my good friends. We chat to him about things like that, so it could be either going CPL, overseas, something like that. And I was overseas when I was younger, when I was 18, but just coming back home and building that experience of getting proper minutes, matches at this high of a level is great. So right now the plan is finish the season out, have a strong season hopefully, and then back in the U Sport, keep training with Pacific, and then if something happens there, straight in. If not, kind of reevaluate, but trying to get into that next level for sure.
I'd like to take this moment also to thank some of our main sponsors, including RLR Lawyers, our returning lead sponsor, Ramsey Lattman Rhodes Lawyers. Also big thank you to O'Neill's, our official teamwear supplier, Junk in Our Trunk, returning training wear sponsor, Seaview Home and Auto Glass, returning youth supporters, Postal Community Credit Union, our returning Fun Zone sponsor, Wildwood Health, Game Day Athletic Therapy Clinic, Martin Belson Real Estate, and Rona. Thank you as well to some of our partners, including Footprint Security, the Nanaimo News Bulletin, St. John Ambulance, Hub City Fisheries, Jingle Pot Pub, VIA Athletics and Recreation, and again behind us, putting on all sorts of track and field events today, big thank you to Nanaimo Track and Field. We'd also like to thank our newest sponsors, our team builder sponsors, including Nickel Street Pawnbrokers, Michael and Allison Wasserman, the Coates family, Little Ears Audiology Practice, Primer Performance and Therapy, Inside Edge Thailand, St. Jean's Cannery and Smokehouse, Jim and Sandy, Rock City Cycles, Fox and Hounds Pub, and Being an Anonymous Fan. We'd also like to acknowledge the following league partners. CIBC, the league partner for Canada Soccer, Canadian Premier League, and League One. Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. The Cruyff Institute, educating athletes, sport, and business professionals to become leaders in sport management. Hey, there goes Nanaimo United. Happy cleats. Great job, Nanaimo United. Also, thank you to Macron, Work Hard, Play Harder. Vibrant Performance, Canada's most trusted brand for automotive race parts and accessories. The Canadian Premier League, where Canadian soccer takes flight. One Soccer is the home of soccer in Canada. Join the movement and watch every CPL and Canadian national team match from any device. And BC Soccer, encouraging all of us to play, inspire, and unite. We thank our sponsors, supporters, and you the fans for your support of League One BC Soccer and Harborside FC.
Welcome back to Kinkinishuk Stadium here in Nanaimo. Second half action about to get underway. Couple of substitutes to tell you about. Looks like maybe just the one. It will be Danny McCaskill coming in. I believe it's Anders Tovar to come off. It is. So McCaskill in his second appearance this season. McCaskill, out of Stirling, Scotland, played 34 minutes as a substitute in his loan appearance with Harbourside this year. So nothing settled in the first half. Harbourside will move from our right to left in this second half, looking to try and find something. It is the lone change. I didn't see anything from altitude, but we'll look to pick up everything as it kind of comes on. And we are underway here in the second half. Harbourside from right to left in their dark blues with the light blue and white trim. Altitude from left to right in their light blues with the white trim. Yusuf Osman to Purcell, pass over the far side, just split Bryant and Biopoulos. Notice a little bit of a shuffle off the start. Suka Bahari had started in a central role in that three-man attack triangle in the first half. He has slotted out to the left side now. Charlie Purcell is up the middle, and Billy Biopoulos has moved over to the right. Biopoulos to Purcell, edge of the area, found a lane to Biopoulos, cuts his way through, just couldn't settle the ball down. Bahari was all alone as well, wanted it, just couldn't quite get there. Bushman Dormant. Down that left side, here's a chance to Sakara. He's run up though, and caught, sandwiched and wedged out of it by a combination of Ashton Bryant and Fergus Hall. Callum Weir will try the long bomb. Biopoulos trying to run after one. Walters will get there first, take no real chance, and put it out for a throw. It's continued to get a little bit more cloudy as the afternoon has rolled on. Still no substantial shower activity though, which is a good sign. Did expect some showers off and on throughout today. There was a few spits of rain just before kickoff for the women's game. Long throw, just straight to the boot though of Walters, put out of play. No activity yet on the altitude bench. Didn't see any substitutes come on at halftime. They are one short on the bench as well, just fielding 6 instead of the 7. Harbourside have made just the one change, so Tovar got 45 minutes, basically doubling his season total in one game. Or two. Out this near side, McCaskill with the black gloves. Battling there, Cresswick on the deck, somehow able to come away with it for a second, although Osman will give away the free kick.
Let's see what these guys got left down the home stretch. That's the way, cheer them on. They're starting to get pretty tired now. That lactic acid builds up, but they got to fight through it. That's the 400. The cheering really helps them at this point.
Walters just waiting. Ball put up through the middle. Harbourside able to latch onto a turnover. Now Bahari will feed down this right side. Biopoulos looking forward. Otu out of his area. Cool, calm, collected, and now altitude put it down the left side to Sakara. He's got options in the middle. Finds Bushman Dormant. The return feed to Sakara comes out. Tinmouth all the way along the pitch against his former club, but didn't find its way to goal. McCaskill told he's got some time. It's quickly closed down. Bahari to Happel. Battling there up against Ambrose Tinmouth. Got it ahead. Ben Cresswick. Switches to the right side. Biopoulos. He's got Osman in the middle. Biopoulos loops high. Intended for Cresswick. Play was read well there by Sarub. And altitude will go for a run. Check that Azur Minu. Feed out to the left side, trying to overlap there is Aheo, looking to center off the legs of Bryant. Aheo gets it back, a sharp angle chance, and blocked in front again, and a corner. Stasia Hale will just walk the ball over, but it'll be Ambrose Tinmouth to take the corner. Part of Harbourside's lineup last year was the new altitude number 19, facilitating a move for him to the lower mainland. Opportunity to continue at the League One level with a new club. Tinmouth delivers to the edge of the 6-yard box. Rolls through everybody, maybe glancing off an altitude player out for a goal kick. McCaskill left side. Just had the ball roll in him a fraction, got it ahead, and now Suka Bahari's going for a run. Bahari over to Purcell and a good slide and put it out for a throw. It was probably the best possible result there as Matt Marshall made a nice defensive play. Good little give and a look there between Bahari and Purcell. McCaskill will take the throw. Still with a bit of work to do. Harborside trying to get clean control as Osman had it for a second. Crestwick's around it as well, and a free kick will come. Go towards altitude on the foul from one of Osman, Crestwick. Take your pick. There was a few around, all battling for that ball. Scoreless in this one. These two teams played to a 2-1 scoreline in Altitude's favor back at the start of the month. It wasn't until the last 10-15 minutes or so of the game that Harborside was able to get on the board in that one. Through Hatim El-Azhari. He is in the lineup today, although yet to make his appearance this afternoon. Another player who, much like Andre Tovar before today's game, head coach Kevin Lindo has used in spurts. 3 appearances, all as substitutes, so combined 14 minutes for El-Azhari. Now that doesn't include stoppage time, that's just straight to the 90 minutes, but you get a sense he has not played in terms of a lot of minutes. Comes on as that impact substitute, trying to provide a spark late in the second half. Had the goal, his lone one of the season, May 8th in North Van. Suka Bahari looks to cross, was looking for Biopoulos. Ball spills back out. Osman did well to control, ran into Serub. Osman still trying to dangle his way through, just lost footing and lost handle on the ball. Good pinch by Hall. Got it ahead. Biopoulos had it for a second. Back to Hall. Happel, a little give and go. They'll try once more. Osman far side. Harborside wanted a foul and some very visual frustration from Happel until he realized that the free kick was going his way. It's from distance. Referee will count out the 10 yards, so we will wait for the referee's whistle. The ball 32 yards out from goal. Taken short. Trying to work over that far side. Nice job there by Bryant. Looks to middle it off the shoulder of an altitude player and cleared away. Osman strips and steals. Back to Bryant. Pressured to Hall. Harborside just maintaining possession, trying to build some pressure as Tinmouth intercepted that one intended for McCaskill and puts it out of play. McCaskill's throw intercepted. Azir Minu. Ball put up through the middle. Hole got in the way of that one. Sends Harborside back the other way. Osman. Support on the outside through Biopoulos. Osman just held onto it. Ran into a good sliding tackle from Azir Minu. Happel will look to play it down the wing. Biopoulos the intended target. It just has a little bit too much on it.
That's it, they're off. So this is the junior and youth boys 400 out in lane 6. We've got Cohen Ingalls, he's your youth. And then we've got 2
Walters will take it from the goal kick. Ball delivered long to the middle. Knocked down there by Lyon. Settled by Azuminu, played up the right side, hit the back of the head incidentally there by Bushman Dorman. Spills nicely for the home side. Suka Beheri into the middle. Yusuf Osman able to return back, regather the ball. Ashton Bryant right side was quickly closed down by Chavula. Altitude have had a step on many of the Harbourside players all game. It's been Harbourside getting possession and trying to go for a bit of a run, and Altitude's just had that speed and positioning to be able to knock it away. Beheri, Cresswick getting their wires crossed. Both of them said, you've got it. And Altitude in transition. Here's Bushman Dorman. Plays a through ball to the middle. Disakera, Weir's out for it, made an initial play, has to get back in, and it's a great stop. Team defense. Fergus Hall got in the way of one chance, Cresswick another, and Altitude denied. Weir coming out of his net to challenge. Was able to get the first save on Disakera. It just kind of came off his fingertips. The striker regathered. Hall got in the way of one chance. Cresswick the other. And this one stays scoreless. Altitude still threatening though, and offside will be the call as the ball spills into the Harbourside net, but the flag is up. And Fergus Hall down for a second time today. Took a knock in the first half. Was on his right leg and had to kind of limp it away and walk it off. Not sure if it's the same spot for this second time. But again, Fergus Hall just gingerly sort of walking it away. So Harbourside bend but don't break. And this one stays scoreless in our 57th minute. Weir sends his defenders long, and he'll bomb it long as well. 50-50 ball off the back of the head of Purcell. And ball played to the outside. Disakera, and again, offside. Coming in from behind Fergus Hall along that battle, so it's a deep free kick for Harbourside. Caskell has a bit of room around him along this near wing. Harbourside will potentially look to switch it out there, although back to Weir for now. He'll send it long, and it's just a quick catch, and this will be a handball. Ortu might be in a bit of trouble here. Ortu just out of his area by probably a foot or so, and he'll be carded. Luca Ortu on a handball just outside his area, and this is a golden opportunity on a free kick for Harbourside. Was instantly caught by the assistant referee along that far side. Not as egregious we saw back here. The VIU Mariners held PacWest Provincials last fall, and it was a much more egregious handball to take away a scoring opportunity. This one not nearly as clear cut, which is probably what has stopped Ortu. Or saved Ortu, I should say. Everybody's around having a chat with the referee while he enters Luca Ortu's name in his book on a yellow card. And Harbourside, inches outside the area, have a free kick. Biopoulos is around it. Beheri is around it. Trying to get a read on who that third one is over on the far side too. Osman is a little interested. Purcell takes his place in the wall. Doesn't look like this will be anything other than a shot, just a question of where it goes and who takes it. Biopoulos, it'll be him. Drills it off the woodwork. It was a good crack from the team's leading scorer. It was a fraction high. Biopoulos just stepped into it 2 steps. And off the woodwork.
Gives out to goalkeeper number 50, Luca Ortu.
Ortu puts that one out of play. McCaskill plays that Cresswick, the one-time centering feed. Beheri, ball knocked down. Osmond trying to find it, spills back out to Ashton Bryant. Over that far side, a free kick will go to Altitude. On the foul. Good pushback here over the last 5-10 minutes or so from Harbourside. Been carrying a good portion, majority of those high-quality scoring opportunities. That being said, best of the bunch to Altitude. DeSiqueira denied a couple of times. You could probably say quantity Harbourside, quality Altitude. Walters, the touch pass up in towards the middle and kicked out of play. That was a miscommunication on a potential set piece as Azarminu puts that out of play. McCaskill with the throw in there, intended for Beheri. It'll go out for a corner. Probably a pretty good result as Beheri and Purcell were closely guarded. And Michael Happel will come in to take the corner out of Kamakura, Japan. Started all 4 games as Happel took the corner quick. Tried to feed Beheri, but he had not a whole lot of room to work. And Weir will find himself well out of his area. Drills it up high. Biopoulos trying to get on the end of it, but was offside. Tinmouth. Sarub. Near side feed here for Aheo, trying to center off the boot of Hall. Chance, and they off the post. Second effort, they score. A broken play as a bouncing ball. Weir came out to play, and it was a second effort after the first shot came off the woodwork. And it's Carson Bushman-Darman to break the deadlock. An Altitude lead, 1-0. Harbourside protested. Not sure if they were appealing for an offside or what else it could have been, but it is a deadlock-breaking goal for Altitude's big number 7 as Carson Bushman-Darman makes it 1-0. And now the home side must chase once more. Substitution coming here. Feasibly at the next stoppage will be the first for Altitude. Suka Beheri, mobbed by a couple, will earn himself a free kick. Fernando Espinal is getting ready to enter the game. He will do at the expense of Sarub. So the number 18 makes way for Fernando Espinal, wearing the number 33 this afternoon. And Sarub's afternoon is done.
All right, here we go. First heat of the 300 meters. This is your summer games crew here. This is the youth women.
White line to Fergus Hall.
They're off to a fast start. Just rounding the corner here. 16 seconds.
Back to Weir.
Altitude FC goal scored in the 63rd minute by number 7, Carson Bushman-Dorman.
1-0 the lead for Altitude, and Bushman-Dorman, he has it, and he has the ball right side now. Carson Bushman-Dorman feeds into the middle. Aheo drops it back off, and a chance on his first touch of the ball for Espinal, but it's blocked and pinballs out. Chavula, De Sequeira, a creative pass. Espinal, the through ball attempted, will go out for a goal kick. Lyon. Shaken there and turned over. Here's Bushman-Dorman. The back heel flick attempt there to try and connect with Azarminu. Comes out to midfield. Bahari just couldn't get himself going. And outside, it'll go out for a throw. Ambrose Tinmouth takes the throw short. Put to the middle. Espinal. Back to Walters. Tinmouth. Little chip ahead. Azarminu. Bushman-Dorman. Looking to try and cut his way in. Just left the ball. Maybe was anticipating Tinmouth to go for a run, as Bahari draws himself a free kick. Every time Suka Bahari has touched the ball this afternoon, he's had at least 2 players around him. Purcell puts it down the left wing. Osman will go for a run, trying to find somewhere to cross. Gets past Espinal. Osman works his way through, challenged on the ball and put to the outside and out for a free kick. Ortu will be the one to take it.
Rounding the bend, here they come, onto the home stretch. We're looking good, these guys are working hard.
Luca Ortu. Capel heads it on. Straight to Chavula though, and he'll go for a run. Joseso Chavula. Aheo. Espinal. The 3 work, but the touch on the first effort there from Stasi Aheo just puts that into the out of bounds area, out for a goal kick. Harborside look to regroup. Still lots of time. 20 odd minutes plus stoppage as Fergus Hall caught with it. Harborside thought that was out for a goal kick, but Hall will win the ball back and they'll clear it anyway. Ball in through middle, Altitude there. Fed to the outside, and a little bit of room to work is Ambrose Tinmouth. To Bushman-Dorman. Azarminu. Dragging it back is Matt Marshall. Wearing the captain's armband, Nathan Walters. Chavula. Kick back outside the area. Espinal. Challenged by Happel, and Happel won the battle. Purcell trying to advance it ahead, although Harborside will get a free kick after Espinal just taking a little bit of extra liberty with Michael Happel. This will be another substitution, this time for Harborside. Ben Creswick will come off. Hatim El Azari will come on. And assuming he goes the distance, this will more than double his game time so far this season. So Andre Tovar, who had played 54 minutes leading into today's action and got a run for 45 today. In addition to El Azari, who'd played roughly 14 minutes, not accounting stoppage time, but 14 minutes so far this season in 3 appearances. Now makes his 4th and has 21 to work with. Just the one substitution so far for Altitude, 2 made for Harbourside. McCaskill is one of them. He was a second half sub. Coming on for Tova. Here's Bahari, floats one in and through. Lazari got a header on it. And his first touch of the ball very nearly winds up in the back of the net. It was a probing, floating ball from Suka Bahari from left wing to back post. And Hatim El Azari very nearly found the back of the net. Probably didn't have the velocity on it that he wanted, and that might have helped Ortu. But Ortu was well positioned, read the play well, sensed the threat to his left. Was able to deny Harbourside an equalizer, but a very, very good start for Hatim El Azari. So again, it's a little bit of a shuffle. Purcell has gone back into midfield. Biopoulos is now finding his way in the middle. Suka Bahari still on the left wing, and Desikera is out. Weir challenging, Desikera scores! And a probing ball through the middle. Athos Michapelis Desikera makes it 2-0. Callum Weir came out to try and grab it and just couldn't get a touch on it. And the striker, who has been prolific for Altitude, adds one here, and it's 2-0. And a celebration to boot as well.
Here we are, 2-16 boys.
So now Altitude's in a very similar position to what they were May 8th when they hosted Harbourside. And Harbourside again looking to try and pounce back from a 2-0 disadvantage. Just under 20 to play, and Harbourside need to up the tempo, need to find something. Try to find a way in this Altitude defense. McCaskill left side. Ball in towards the middle, Biopoulos using his body to shield it. Gets it to Bahari, and again, as soon as he touches the ball, he's got 3 guys over him. McCaskill plays it into the area, trying to find somebody, but it's cleared away. And Altitude quickly in transition. Hall has a bit of work to do, and he'll put it into touch.
Altitude FC goal scored in the 71st minute by number 9, Athos Michapelis Desikera.
Ambrose Tinmouth takes the long throw. Free kick will come this way for Harbourside. The challenge this time on Happel. Drawing a little bit of
Here we go, the first heat of the JV 13 girls.
a little bit of extra attention from the referee, just having a chat. Looked to be incidental at best between Happel and Astasia Hale. Long ball from Weir, trying to feed Biopoulos. It has worked in the past, that connection. In fact, it was how Biopoulos scored his second of the game against the Whitecaps 2 weeks ago. The long ball from Weir connected with Biopoulos, was able to beat the keeper in stoppage time. That made it 3-2 from a 3-1 deficit, but we'll need a few more of those here this afternoon, as the through ball for Altitude just coming a little bit too easy right now, as Hall nutmegged on a ball through by Aheo, spills back out. Bushman dormant, good challenge by Osmond to take it away from him. As trying to flutter that up and through, taking a spill there was Espinal. Check that part of me, Puhalj. For Fergus Hall. Ball floated in by Biopoulos, trying to run onto it. Good play, but it'll be off a hand. And this will bring about another infraction and a yellow card for the altitude captain. Nathan Walters put into the book, so him and goalkeeper Luca Ortu in the referee's book. Denying a potential scoring opportunity, both incidentally for handballs. This free kick will come from 25 yards out. Happel is over it, looks to deliver it into the area. Happel, it's a low delivery, deflecting, still bouncing, and it's altitude to clear it away. As the ball comes back out to midfield. Bryant to Weir. Long ball through the middle, trying to find somebody, but it's all light blue jerseys. And Ortu will just look to kill some time. Play a little chicken with Hatim El Azari. 2-0 the score, altitude lead. Ball put out the left side. Not a whole ton of action on the substitute benches either side. Both teams still have lots of moves to make if they need. Sliding tackle, trying to knock it in towards the middle, and this will be a yellow card going Harbourside's way. Ashton Bryant coming in for the reckless tackle. No long-term damage done, or at least serious damage done for the altitude player. So 3 players booked. Bryant for Harborside, Ortu and Walters for altitude. And a false start off the free kick. Ball will be brought all the way back.
Harborside yellow card, to number 18, Ashton Bryant.
Rounding the bend, coming towards the home stretch. Don't forget to keep cheering for these guys. They're pretty tired. They're trying to get these times.
Harborside on the road for the next 3 games. June 1st, Rivers. June 9th, Unity. June 16th, Rovers. And then back here to entertain the league's newest franchise, Burnaby. June 22nd, pardon me, not 23rd, 22nd. So the next 3 for Harborside away from Nanaimo, and it'll be a month between games here at Kikinishtuk. Azir Minner. Espinal. Goes back for Walters. Now to Ortu. The clearance from Ortu put out of play. 13 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. We'll see more than one stoppage time, minute of stoppage time played here in the second half. We've had a few more stoppages as Bahari to Purcell. El Azari, what a first touch of the ball he had. El Azari this time from distance trying to unload the left boot. And it got blocked by the first man there. And eventually out for a throw for altitude.
We got the 300 meters, JD12's going here. Excellent start for these girls. Looks like we've got a good competitive race as they come into the corner. We've got them all lined up. 3 gonna come onto the straightaway. It's gonna be close as they come onto the straightaway.
2-0 the score. Goals to Bushman Dormand and Desikera. All in this second half, and it is 2-0. Espinal. Altitude in absolutely no rush. Tinmouth. McCaskill had a high jump at it and then landed hard on his back. Tinmouth centers, deflected, but away from goal as it comes back out to the area, to the dot, excuse me. Desikera in a 3rd attempt, and he'll drill it wide. 3 good cracks at the goal. None of them ended up on target. But Harborside won't like the fact that they're giving up those opportunities, particularly in a situation where they're chasing a pair of goals. Double substitution will come here for Harborside in a moment. That ball put high and out of play. And Harborside needs to start to up the tempo here a little bit. Running out of time to be able to try and build something. Sometimes you just got to force it through and create. Beopolis. Little give there, Bahari. Bahari trying to open up something towards the net, and he's stripped of it as it's kicked back out. Lyon. Hall. Back for Weir. Bryant. It'll be a triple substitution now that a third Harborside player has joined. Cornwall is going to be one of them coming on. I haven't been able to get a read on a number on the other two just quite yet. Bahari. Outside, McCaskill. Trying to cut into the right boot. Delivers across. El Hazari. The header wide. Goal kick. Substitutions coming. One for Altitude as well.
And with that, I think that's a wrap for the day. So, I'm a Track and Field Club parents. Let's remember, just have a look around.
So, Bryant's afternoon is done. He heads off.
See if there's anything we need cleaned up before we head out.
Suko Bahari's afternoon is done. He heads off.
Thanks to everybody for all the hard work and making a success out of this track.
And Fergus Hall, for the first time this season, I believe, is substituted and will not complete a game. We'll wait to see who exactly is coming on. We'll just try to get a read on some numbers as they cycle through. Johnny McKenzie finds his way up front on a winger role. Tristan Cornwell was one of them coming on. And then just trying to do a quick scan, it's Joseph Ferstiari as well. So those are the three for Harborside. I didn't see the placard go up from the fourth official. I'm not 100% sure on the Altitude substitution, although I believe up front there is a new look in that striker role. So I believe it's Disakera, who came off, and I'm just trying to get a read on the number and who came on. Tinmouth able to keep it in, but only for a moment. Might be Elliot Riches. Bit of a different look up front. McCaskill. Azerminu plays it ahead, and it is indeed Elliot Riches. He's come on for Disakera. So Harborside throwing out some different looks. They've still got a couple of moves that they can make. Coburn is available. I think that's the only one, though. It is. So Matt Coburn is the only substitute to make. That would be on a defensive switch. And even Johnny McKenzie, who's played more of sort of a wing-back role, finds himself in an attacking midfield role here to end. As Harborside trying to chase a pair. Appel up through the middle. McCaskill trying to find a loose ball. Altitude clear out to middle. Azir Minu just got connected there with Appel. And the ball will come back. And again, Altitude just in no real rush to get things moving. Why would you be? 6 minutes and change remaining, plus your stoppage time, and you're up by 2. Substitution coming here for the visitors. And potentially we'll have to wait for the second, or the next stoppage in play, I should say. We'll wait to the next stoppage. Team El Azari getting in the way of that one. Purcell will latch onto a loose ball. Espinal trying to take it away from him, but Purcell has it. Cutting back and slicing Purcell away from the ball was a good back jet there by Chavula. Espinal. Altitude in control. Slowing the pace once more, Pahaj. Played through and chipped back there by Lyon. Cornwall. And the ball comes back. Callum Weir is wearing the captain's armband right now. Fergus Hall, his, we'll call it the Ironman streak, ends. Had played every minute so far. His next closest was Wyatt Lyon, who's been substituted once before. He will very likely play the rest of this one. And another card coming here against Harbourside on the challenge there from Azir Minu. And it'll be Yusuf Osman going to the book.
Harbourside yellow card in the 85th minute. Number 3, Yusuf
Substitute coming on will be number 21,
substitution.
Mark Webster for Altitude. Making way from him will be Nathan Walters, who gives up the armbands as he heads off. Matt Marshall, pardon me, now wearing it. He was listed as the captain to start today, was the Altitude number 6. Harbourside have just really struggled to get their forwards going. Anytime that Bahari has been around the ball, Biopolis has been around the ball, they've just had zero space to work. Purcell's had a little bit more success, but certainly Biopolis and Bahari just have had absolutely no room and haven't been able to break those shackles so far this afternoon. There's still a bit of time, 4 minutes plus stoppage remaining. Although Altitude in firm control, leading 2-0. McKenzie into the middle, Osman over to the right side and chasing after at Cornwall, but can't latch onto that one. So it's definitely a new look defense for Altitude. Wyatt Lyon is the only one who's survived from kickoff. For the first time this season, no Fergus Hall, as the wind begins to pick up here. And offside will be the call, as coming in from an offside position, the number 10 of Stasia Hale. Harbourside Sapel stripped of it. Hale trying to tee up there with Elliot Riches, and it falls nicely. Here's a chance, but a good cut across. Tristan Cornwell taking that one away from Carson Bushman-Dormant. And Altitude very nearly creating something out of a turnover in midfield. Referee just hustling Ambrose Tinmouth along a little bit. Riches will take the ball to the corner there with Tinmouth, just trying to kill whatever second they can as the ball put out of play for a throw. Harbourside looking to push the pace of the stoppages. Altitude in no rush, nearing 90 minutes. Altitude, full credit to them, taking advantage of some quick breaks. Being very, very good, very, very stingy defensively. Just nothing really to give up, have Altitude. Harbourside's had a couple of good looks. Biopolis hit the post on a free kick. Elazari on his first touch of the ball since coming on as a substitute, very nearly wound up in the back of the net with a header. So there's been a couple of chances, just haven't been able to capitalize on those, and those missteps combined with a very stifling defense from Altitude. It's been a tough afternoon for Harbourside. As I said earlier, 3 straight away from home for Harbourside. So if they're going to get back in the win column, it will have to come away from Nanaimo unless they wait until the end of June 22nd here at Kikinishtuk. All put up to a very lonely Billy Biopolis, who doesn't have a whole ton of friendly jerseys around him. McCaskill. Moving his way through traffic, but the pass back from McKenzie intended there for Osman. Just didn't find its way through. And now Purcell trying to advance the ball. Osman, chip to the middle. Michael Happel has support on the outside. El-Azhari, Biopoulos through traffic, and the return feed intended for Happel just never got there. Double substitution coming here for Altitude. It's going to be Caleb Voth into the game. Carson Bushman-Dormand heading off. And then the other substitution, Adrian Poor, will make his way on Stasia Hayo. His afternoon is done. What a pair those two have been. A goal for Bushman-Dormand. Ahayo's been a constant presence. And that's 90 minutes effectively well played. Minimum of 4 minutes left in this one, as Elliot Riches comes in from an offside position.
A minimum of 4 minutes will be added on. 4 minutes added time.
And a yellow card being issued to one of the Altitude players in midfield just for deflecting the ball away, coming in and immediately getting yellow carded. Adrian Poor within seconds of stepping on as a substitute. At the point now where a minor miracle is needed to try and salvage something here for Harbourside. We are beyond the point where Hatim El-Azhari scored in this matchup earlier this month in North Vancouver. And Harbourside just don't look like they're going to be able to create much here this afternoon. Been a lonely time up front for Billy Biopoulos. Charlie Purcell has had, as I said earlier, a little bit more success in terms of getting free, getting some space, but anytime there's looked to be some space, some creation, it's being quickly locked down. Free kick here against Harbourside on the foul, just the challenge inside midfield. About 3 minutes remaining as Altitude put it down that left wing. Chavula, the intended target. It'll go out for a throw. Cornwall to take the throw. Harbourside trying to get something going here late. Again, looking to salvage, but running out of time. We said in the pregame show a win here for Altitude would tie them in first place in the men's division. Well on their way to doing that as a dangerous play there cleared by the Altitude defense. Harbourside will maintain their 4 points on the season so far, and in a bit of a log jam and a share of fourth place. As the ball spills onto Ortu, and he, with a little bit of theatrics, dives over the top of it and holds onto it, and will take every second he can. Luka Ortu drops it off. Biopoulos will press the matter. Put up the right side, Ambrose Tinmouth battling there with Danny McCaskill. Tinmouth into the middle, Espinal. Place to the outside, Chavula will go for a run. Wiz Chavula, just the little chip in ahead, and Cornwall puts it up off an Altitude player and out of play for a throw. Probably another minute or two left. Officials had signaled 4 minutes. We're past the 2.5 mark now of stoppage time. Only a couple of rolls of the dice left as Biopoulos trying to latch onto a header ahead by Johnny McKenzie. And that is put out into touch by Altitude. McKenzie left side will look to take a long throw. Try to give a little bit of a different look. McKenzie, long throw. El-Azhari, the intended target, eventually comes back out. Chiari trying to latch onto it, but Altitude quickly in transition. Going for a run with it is Adrian Poor down the left side. Challenged there by Cornwall. Poor cuts into the middle. Poor, challenge Cornwall. Both players go down. And that will be it. 90 minutes in the books, and Altitude A 2-0 victory. So they go for a share of top spot in the men's division with the Vancouver Whitecaps. A record now of 3-2-1, 10 points for them. And they share that top spot with the Whitecaps, at least for now. Harborside 1-3-1. They'll stay at 4 points and in a three-way share of that fourth spot. And now the next three for Harborside come on the road as Ambrose Tinmouth kind of making his way over to the Harborside area, just greeting some old teammates. And his old head coach, Kevin Lindo, as well. So it is 3 in a row now out of town for Harborside, beginning next weekend against Rivers. The weekend after that, Unity. One more after that, Rovers, all on the road. And then June 22nd back here in Nanaimo at Kikinishtuk Stadium. On behalf of everyone associated with tonight's game, thanks so much for watching or listening wherever or however you took it in. Altitude to Harborside, no score. We'll talk to you here June 22nd, Kikinishtuk Stadium in Nanaimo for more League 1 BC action. Have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon. Bye now.